A new AI model was just pointed at the Temple Mount. Its goal, to analyze thousands of data points, from ground-penetrating radar to ancient texts. The result? It allegedly found a hidden structure, a 3,000-year-old secret that perfectly matches biblical descriptions. This is the shocking reveal of how the Temple Mount was built. But not all things are what they seem. While the world is focused on this one digital discovery, they're missing the real story: the 570-ton stones and impossible feats of engineering that have been hiding in plain sight for 2,000 years. What the AI found beneath the dome. The report is sending shockwaves through the historical community. A team of data scientists and archaeologists allegedly fed a new predictive AI model everything. We're talking terabytes of data, old seismic surveys, ground-penetrating radar readings from the 1990s, thousands of pages of ancient texts like the works of Josephus, and even drone-based thermal imaging. They asked the AI to build a digital twin of the mountain, to not only map what we know is there, but to predict what must be hidden in the voids. The results are the shocking reveal everyone is talking about. The AI model has predicted, with a reported 94% confidence, a massive, anomalous void deep inside the bedrock. This isn't just another tunnel or water cistern. This void is located directly beneath the foundation stone, the very spot, according to tradition, where the Holy of Holies of Solomon's temple once stood. But it gets even crazier. The AI, processing old magnetic resonance data, also flagged metallic signatures within the void. The size, shape, and metallic composition of the object it predicts are a terrifyingly close match for one thing: the biblical description of the Ark of the Covenant. For decades, experts have been locked in a stalemate, unable to prove or disprove the legends. Now, a machine claims to have found the answer. This AI reveal is forcing everyone to ask a question they thought was unanswerable. But what many overlooked is that this AI finding doesn't just point to what's in the mount. It's forcing us to confront an even bigger mystery. You see, the thing nobody tells you is that we don't even really know how the massive platform itself was built. Forget what's inside it. The mount itself is an ancient engineering impossibility. And this new AI data might be the key to unlocking that too. But to understand the AI's shocking reveal, you first have to understand the monster who built the mount. How was it really built? Before the AI, there was Herod. When we talk about the Temple Mount, we are not really talking about King Solomon's original, relatively small temple. We are talking about the insane expansion project started around 20 BCE by Herod the Great. Herod was a Roman-appointed king, a man known for his brilliance, his paranoia, and his obsession with building things that would last forever. To win the favor of his Jewish subjects, he decided to take the existing Second Temple and its platform and make it the undisputed wonder of the ancient world. His plan was simple. He would double the size of the platform. This wasn't a renovation. It was an act of architectural madness. The plan required him to build a 37-acre flat-top platform. That's the size of 28 American football fields on the side of a mountain. To do this, he had to fill in a massive valley with arches and rubble, and then encase the entire thing in a set of the largest retaining walls ever built by human hands. The Western Wall, where millions pray today, is just one small surviving section of this gigantic box. And the stones they used. This is where the story defies logic. Herod's builders, with no power tools, no engines, and no modern cranes, quarried and moved megalithic blocks of limestone. The average stone in the wall weighs between 2 and 5 tons. But for the foundation, Herod's engineers used stones that are, to put it mildly, monsters. Deep within the Western Wall tunnels, archaeologists have uncovered the Western Stone. It is a single perfectly cut block. It is over 44 feet long, 10 feet high, and is estimated to weigh 570 tons. That's 1.14 million pounds. That is the weight of 3 blue whales, or a fully loaded 747 jumbo jet. How did they do it? We still don't know. Archaeologists theorize they used massive teams of oxen combined with complex systems of rollers, ramps, and levers. But the precision is what's truly baffling. These multi-ton stones are fitted together without any mortar. The joints are so tight, you cannot slip a piece of paper between them. What's more, the entire structure was designed to be earthquake-proof. The stones were set back slightly, and the joints were left with just enough flexibility to allow the massive wall to move with a tremor and resettle, rather than crack and collapse. It's a level of engineering that we are only just beginning to appreciate. This is the real shocking part of how the Temple Mount was built. It was a man-made mountain held in place by 570-ton blocks. But the real mystery wasn't just the walls. It was what they built inside those walls, long before the AI. Warren's Waterworld Herod's 37-acre platform wasn't solid. To build something that massive and level, his engineers first had to create a huge, supportive substructure. What many overlooked for centuries is that the Temple Mount is hollow. Well, not hollow, but filled with a complex, labyrinthine world of arches, tunnels, and, most importantly, cisterns. You see, the temple was a working industrial-scale site. Religious rituals required a staggering amount of water for purification, for cleaning, and for the thousands of priests and pilgrims. But the mount is on a mountain. There are no natural springs. So, Herod's engineers built one. They constructed a 40-mile-long aqueduct that snaked its way from springs near Bethlehem, gathering water and carrying it, using only gravity, all the way to Jerusalem. When this water arrived, it was channeled into a hidden world beneath the pavement. Archaeologists, starting with the 19th century explorer Charles Warren, have mapped out a mind-boggling network of over 24 massive underground water cisterns. These aren't just wells, they are cavernous, multi-story reservoirs carved from the bedrock, some capable of holding hundreds of thousands of gallons. In total, this network could store an estimated 2.3 million gallons of water. This underground sea was the lifeblood of the temple, but it also proves something crucial. The mount is riddled with massive, man-made voids. Charles Warren himself in 1867 famously lowered himself on a rope down a 40-foot shaft, now called Warren's Shaft, to explore this hidden world. He crawled through ancient tunnels and mapped these gigantic cisterns, proving that the legends of a world beneath the mount were true. This is why the new AI scan from Chapter 1 is so electrifying. We know the mount is full of massive, ancient, man-made chambers. The AI isn't just guessing, it's using the known data about these cisterns to look for unknown anomalies. If Herod's engineers could build a 2.3 million gallon water system, is it really so crazy to think they also sealed off one very special, very hidden chamber? The shock is that the AI's digital twin is simply adding one more piece to a puzzle that we know is real. The AI is connecting the dots that human explorers like Warren could never reach. But this new simulation isn't the only place AI is changing the story. The real bombshell is what AI is finding in the dirt. The 9,000-ton insult. The new AI scan that allegedly found the Ark's resting place is, for now, a digital twin, a sophisticated prediction. But many people are crazy about another AI project at the Mount, one that is dealing with physical artifacts. And, to put it mildly, it all started with a disaster. In 2004, a construction project on the Mount used bulldozers to excavate a massive pit. They scooped up over 9,000 tons of earth that was packed with 3,000 years of priceless layered history, and unceremoniously dumped it all in the nearby Kidron Valley. To archaeologists, it was like taking 9,000 tons of history books and throwing them in a landfill. This tragedy sparked an unprecedented rescue mission, the Temple Mount Sifting Project, TMSP. For the last 2 decades, archaeologists and thousands of volunteers have been meticulously, painstakingly sifting through that 9,000 tons of rubble, one bucket at a time. And the wow factor here is almost unbelievable. They have recovered over 500,000 artifacts. We're talking ancient coins, Bronze Age pottery, jewelry, arrowheads from ancient conflicts, and sacred items from Jewish, Christian, and Islamic history. But here's the problem. They have 500,000 items. How do you even begin to categorize that? The answer, it turns out, is AI. This is the real AI reveal that is already happening. Scientists are now using sophisticated machine learning algorithms to scan and analyze this mountain of artifacts. In 2024, they announced a huge breakthrough. The AI had analyzed thousands of tiny nondescript clay tokens. By comparing patterns, the AI identified them as 2,000-year-old pilgrim tokens, ancient vouchers stamped with menorahs that pilgrims would buy, and then exchange for their sacrificial offerings. And it gets better. The project's director, Zaki Zweig, recently announced another find, a tiny clay seal, or bulla. The Paleo-Hebrew inscription on it reads, "Belonging to Gemariyahu, son of Shaphan." This isn't just a name. It's a name that appears in the book of Jeremiah as a scribe in the royal court. This is a direct, tangible piece of evidence from the time of the First Temple. AI is helping to rescue history from the rubble, proving the site's ancient past, piece by tiny piece. So how does this real AI connect to the bombshell AI scan? That's where the story comes full circle. A map to the future. So what is the real story? We have a bombshell AI scan from Chapter 1 that predicts a hidden chamber matching the Ark of the Covenant. And we have the real AI from Chapter 4, which is physically identifying 3,000-year-old artifacts. The thing nobody tells you is that these are not two different stories. They are the same story. The data from the TMSP's 500,000 artifacts, the inscriptions on seals, the locations of ancient coins, all of this real-world data is the fuel for the predictive digital twin. The shocking reveal is not a hoax. It's a simulation, the most advanced historical simulation ever created. The AI has taken the known marvels, Herod's 570-ton stones, the 2.3 million-gallon underground sea, and the 500,000 artifacts from the Sifting Project, and it has crunched the numbers. It has, in effect, learned the unique engineering fingerprint of the ancient builders. And based on that fingerprint, it has made a prediction. It has pointed to a spot deep in the bedrock and said, based on everything I know about how these people built, there should be a void right here. This AI model is, for the first time, showing how the Temple Mount was likely built. It's reverse engineering the minds of Herod's builders. The shock isn't that a computer found a box. The shock is that the ancient engineering was so sophisticated, so complex, and so mathematically precise that it took a 21st century artificial intelligence just to appreciate it. The AI is the first tool powerful enough to understand the 570-ton stones and the labyrinth of cisterns. What happens next? This AI model is now the roadmap. It gives scientists an exact target. They can now use new non-invasive tools, more advanced seismic sensors, cosmic ray muon detectors, the same tech used to find voids in the pyramids, and aim them exactly where the AI told them to look. The AI didn't end the mystery, it just gave us the first credible treasure map in 2,000 years. The real revelation is that our own ancient past was far more advanced than we ever dared to believe. The machine. On the mountain. The story seems to be wrapping up. The AI has learned the fingerprint of the ancient builders, and it's given us a map. But what if the AI is wrong? Not about the void, but about its purpose. The conclusion in Chapter 5 makes one massive, terrifying assumption, that the fingerprint the AI learned was human. But what if it wasn't? This is where the story goes from a historical mystery to something else entirely. This is the theory that for decades has been dismissed as pure fantasy. But now, with a superintelligent AI flagging a void with metallic signatures right under the foundation stone, this wild theory is suddenly the only one that seems to fit all the facts. Let's go back to the 570-ton Western stone. The official story, as we've heard, is oxen, ramps, and rollers. But the shocking truth is that this explanation is, for many engineers, a physical impossibility. It's not just the weight, it's the precision. To move a 1.14 million pound block and set it with such accuracy that you can't fit a piece of paper in the joint, that isn't just hard, it's a feat that would challenge our own 21st century megastructures. What if the builders, whether it was Herod's engineers or a much older civilization, weren't dragging the stones at all? What if they were tuning them? This is the sonic levitation theory. The theory posits that the ancient builders understood the harmonic properties of stone, that they didn't use brute force but precise frequencies. By hitting a precise resonant frequency, they could dramatically reduce or even nullify the weight of the megaliths, allowing a small team to guide them into place. This would explain the impossible precision. The stones weren't chiseled to fit, they were vibrated into place, settling perfectly against each other. It sounds like science fiction, until you look at the mount itself. Why the mortarless, airtight joints? To build a strong wall? No. A wall that tight is brittle, but it's absolutely perfect for transmitting a vibrational frequency. The entire 37-acre platform with its 570-ton foundation stones isn't just a retaining wall, it's a gigantic, precisely tuned musical instrument. But what for? This is where it gets even crazier. The theory argues that the Temple Mount was never just a place of worship. It was a machine, a functional technological device, and the AI. It didn't find a tomb or a box. It found the engine room. Think about it. The AI pinpointed a void with metallic signatures directly beneath the foundation stone, the holiest spot, the one place on Earth where, according to tradition, the divine presence rested. This theory claims the foundation stone is not a plug or a memorial. It's an antenna. It's the focal point of the entire machine, drawing in a form of energy we no longer understand, perhaps telluric energy from the Earth's magnetic field or something else entirely. What about the Ark of the Covenant? The metallic object the AI found. In this theory, the Ark wasn't just a chest, it was a capacitor, a massive gold-plated technological device for storing and discharging enormous amounts of energy. It was described in the Bible as a terrifying, deadly object that could strike people down, cause tumors, and topple walls. That doesn't sound like a simple religious relic. It sounds like a piece of high-voltage, unstable technology. The 2.3 million gallons of water in the cisterns, that wasn't just for cleaning. It was a coolant system for the machine. King Solomon's original temple, which stood on that same spot, was famously covered, inside and out, with hundreds of tons of pure gold. Why? Not just for decoration. Gold is one of the world's best conductors. The entire Temple Mount, this theory suggests, was a massive, gold-plated, water-cooled, stone-based energy machine. The Ark was its power source, the foundation stone was its conduit, and the 570-ton megaliths were the tuning forks that kept the whole thing stable. The rituals, the sacrifices, the priestly duties, they weren't just symbolic. They were operational procedures, a complex set of instructions for safely running a device of unimaginable power. This is the shocking reveal that no one is talking about. The AI hasn't just found the Ark, it's found the on switch to a 3,000-year-old power plant. But this raises one final terrifying question. If this machine existed, did anyone else in history know? Did anyone else try to find it? The Templar's Loot. The AI has given us a map that points to a hidden void, a metallic object, and a 3,000-year-old secret. But what if the AI is late? What if 900 years ago someone else found that void? And what if they opened it? This is the final and most shocking theory of all, the one that connects the AI's digital twin to the darkest secrets of the Crusades. We're talking about the Knights Templar. In the year 1119, a small band of 9 French knights led by Hugues de Payan presented themselves to King Baldwin II of Jerusalem. Their stated mission was simple: to protect Christian pilgrims on the dangerous roads to the Holy Land. But what they did next makes no sense. The king gave them a headquarters, and it wasn't a castle or a fortress. He gave them the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And where is the Al-Aqsa Mosque? It is built on the Temple Mount. For 9 solid years, these 9 knights lived and worked on the Temple Mount. They were, according to historians, poor, but they weren't patrolling the roads. In fact, there is almost no record of them protecting any pilgrims at all. So what were they doing? The shocking theory is that they were excavating. They weren't knights. They were a recovery team. They had a map, perhaps an ancient text, a family secret, or a map from the First Crusade. And they were digging, in secret, directly underneath the foundation stone. They were looking for the exact same void the AI just discovered. For 9 years, they tunneled. Modern archaeologists have, in fact, found 12th century tunnels beneath the mount, with Templar-era artifacts left behind. They were, without a doubt, digging for something. And then, in 1128, they found it. This theory claims the Templars located the void. They broke into the chamber, the one the AI just found, and they recovered what was inside. Not just the Ark, but something even more valuable: the knowledge, the blueprints, the sacred geometry, the engineering fingerprint of the ancient builders. Suddenly, the poor knights became the most powerful organization on Earth. They returned to Europe and, almost overnight, became the world's first multinational corporation. They became bankers to kings and popes. And, most importantly, they began building. They built the great Gothic cathedrals of Europe. And what are these cathedrals? They are marvels of engineering. They are towering structures built with a knowledge of geometry, physics, and stoneworking that was lost to Europe for 1,000 years. Where did this knowledge come from? It came, this theory states, from the scrolls and tablets they recovered from the void. They had found the instruction manual for the machine on the mount. This is the secret they were really protecting. It wasn't gold, it was technology. But it gets even darker. In 1307, King Philip IV of France, jealous of their power and deep in debt to the order, had every Templar in France arrested on Friday the 13th. The charges: heresy, blasphemy, worshipping a mysterious head called the Baphomet. For centuries, people assumed this was propaganda. But what if it was true? What if the head wasn't a demon? What if it was an artifact? A data storage device from the void? Or perhaps a piece of the machine itself? A metallic technological relic that the superstitious medieval king could only describe as a demonic head. When the king's men raided the Templar treasuries, they found nothing. The legendary Templar treasure and their massive fleet of ships had vanished. It was never seen again. This brings us back to today, to the AI. The AI's digital twin has pointed to a void, a chamber, a metallic anomaly. The world is waiting for scientists to point their muon detectors and ground-penetrating radar at that spot. But this theory claims they won't find the Ark. They won't find a 3,000-year-old secret. They're going to find an empty room, a plundered tomb, a 900-year-old crime scene. The shocking reveal isn't what's in the mount, it's what was taken out. The AI hasn't found the Ark. It's found the shadow of the Knights Templar. And the real secret, the ancient technology, the fingerprint of the gods, is still out there, hidden in the world, waiting to be found.